late 1800s. By this time, chemistry was firmly established as a science. Chemists observed and discovered new patterns of chemical relationships such as periodicity. As well, chemists discovered new chemical compounds with tremendous frequency. The rapidly increasing number of chemical compounds required a more organized method of nomenclature. The International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC, was formed in 1919 by a group of chemists. The main aim of IUPAC was to establish international standards for masses, measurement, names, and symbols used in the discipline of chemistry. To further that aim, IUPAC developed and continues to develop a consistent and thorough system of nomenclature for compounds. The following are the rules in chemical nomenclature, the system that is used in chemistry for naming compounds. Rule 1. When writing a chemical formula for ionic compounds, you learned that you write the metal element first. Similarly, the metal comes first when naming a compound. For example, sodium chloride, NaCl salt, is formed from the metal sodium and the nonmetal chlorine. Other examples of ionic compounds are potassium fluoride, calcium bromide, and sodium hypochlorite. In each case, the metal is first and the nonmetal is second. In other words, the cation is first and the anion is second. Rule number 2, for cations, the name of the element is unchanged. But if an element can form two ions of different charges, that's case 2, just like many of the transition metals in the periodic table, the name of a compound must identify which ion is present in the compound. To do this, the element's name is used, followed by the charge in parentheses, written in Roman numerals. This naming method is called the Stock system, after Alfred Stock, a German chemist who first used it. Examples include the following. You may refer to this table also for the other transition elements with more than one ionic charge. Out-of-date nomenclature or classical name used the suffixes IC and OUS to designate metals with higher and lower charges respectively. Iron 3 chloride FeCl3 was previously called ferric chloride, and iron 2 chloride FeCl2 was known as ferrous chloride. Though this naming convention has been largely abandoned by the scientific community, it remains in use by some segments of industry. For example, you may see the words stannous fluoride on a tube of toothpaste. This represents the formula SNF2, which is more properly named tin 2 fluoride. The other fluoride of tin is SNF4, which was previously called stannic fluoride but is now named tin 4 fluoride. Rule number 3. For anions, the name of the element is modified by the suffix IDE. Examples are take a look now at sample problem number 1 about naming ions. And the answers are, check out this sample problem on naming chemical formulas of binary ionic compounds. And the answers are, let's continue with rule number 4. The polyatomic cation NH4+ is named as ammonium, while the polyatomic cation H3O+ is named as hydronium. Rule number 5, several anions are polyatomic and are named based on the atomic constituents and the suffix IDE. Common examples are listed here. And the last rule 6, A number of polyatomic anions containing oxygen atoms are named based on the root word of the central or non-oxygen atom and the suffix ate for the one with more oxygen atoms and ite for the one with less oxygen atom. Here are the examples. Other polyatomic anions are listed in Table 2, found in Self-Learning Module number 5. How did you find the two sample problems? Let's try answering now another sample problem. Naming chemical formulas of ternary ionic compounds.